Husky fans, welcome into NIU Basketball Weekly, episode number 3. I am Andy Garcia. Glad you could join me and really looking forward to talking NIU basketball and more. Now, with the men's basketball team on pause, we are going to switch it up a little bit, talk a little Husky football. We're going to bring on NIU senior center Brayden Patton to join us. Now, the reason we're going to bring a little football on is because they've got an event coming up on Monday, February 1st, okay? And it's called Leaders of the Pack. It's a virtual meeting, a virtual event. Register online, niuhuskies.com, and you can participate in this live event featuring head coach Thomas Hammock, the offensive and defensive coordinators, and 6 football student athletes. I'm going to be the moderator / host. Really looking forward to it. You can also submit questions for Coach Hammock in advance or during the event on the chat, or the Q&A is where we're going to take the questions on. That's Monday, February 1st, coming up 6 p.m., and you can see more information on niuhuskies.com. Log in and get registered for that virtual event on Monday. Along with Brayden Patton, we're going to talk with NIU women's basketball coach Lisa Carlsen, and also gymnastics. Head coach Sam Morreale in his 10th season as head coach is going to join us. Their season is underway. They're back in action at the Combo on Sunday. So it's an action-packed show. Let's start it off. We're joined by the Huskies head women's basketball coach Lisa Carlsen. Her team 5-1 in the month of January so far, coming off a nice win at Akron on Wednesday. Coach, thanks for coming on. And 5-1 in the month of January. What a way to start off 2021. What have been some of the keys so far with the nice success in this month?
Well, obviously, we've had some success scoring the basketball. That's always important for us. And I think along with that, our defense continues to get better in a lot of areas. A couple things statistically, not just points scored, but sharing the basketball and also rebounding the basketball have been huge for us.
Yeah, you've been shooting the ball well from the field and from outside the arc. Shooters are going to shoot, and they've been knocking down shots, which has been huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that we can put on the floor that we feel confident in our ability to knock down shots, not just from behind the arc, but our post players continue to be effective around the rim as well, with second chance opportunities as well as just scoring in all 3 phases of the game.
I'll start on the outside with Shelby Coker, who's averaging 20 points per game, 5th in the MAC in scoring. What have you liked from her game as of late?
Well, everything we do really revolves around Shelby being able to initiate our offense. She can score at all 3 levels. Obviously, her ability to shoot the 3 and get to the rim, but also to distribute the basketball once she gets to the paint. We talk all the time about how critical it is for us to get paint touches in order to find open scorers, open shooters. And when we do that, we've had a lot of success.
Paulina Castro, when you've needed some shots to fall, she's been up there and has knocked down some shots. It's great to have that type of senior who can come in and she's starting, but you need a big basket, you need a 3. You can count on her to make a shot.
Well, not only knocking down the open shot, but Paulina is definitely like having another coach on the floor. She has a great understanding of what we need to do on both ends. She's a great communicator, and she very much understands the players that she is on the floor with, where they can be successful. And she's critical in getting them the ball in those situations as well.
And Johnny Poison coming off a nice game last week at Toledo and made a couple shots against Akron. I had the chance to talk to her a little bit in length for halftime on the radio, and just what she's had to fight through, Coach. And again, those legs are not what she used to have, but she's fighting, she's clawing. And she even would say that she wants to play well because her teammates see what she's gone through to get to this point. And boy, we know she can knock down some 3s. We know that.
Well, Johnny is a great competitor, and we see that on the daily in practice, and then obviously we see that on game day. She's also shooting the ball with a lot of confidence right now. There's never a time that she doesn't feel like when it leaves her hands, it's going to go in, and that's so critical for especially a perimeter shooter to have the confidence to let it fly, and she definitely has that. And like you mentioned, Andy, she's gone through a ton, so she just wants to be a part of the success that we're having, and she absolutely has been.
You know, we've talked about what the month of January has been like for the offense, averaging 80 points per game. Yes, you've gotten some outside shooting, but we've also talked about, and you mentioned it already, inside. Asia Davis coming off just a monster game at Akron, 13 points and 14 rebounds. And we've talked about it. When she's patient, when she takes her time, lets the game come to her, the refs can't get in her way. She's going to make some shots right at the rim.
Yeah, and you can also tell when Asia plays with confidence, the game seems simple to her. You know, she's been extremely efficient in the paint and around the rim, great on the offensive glass, And she can just kind of clean some things up in the bottom half of the lane with her ability to rebound. But you can almost tell the calming presence that she has within our team when she's comfortable getting the basketball and going to work in the bottom half of the lane.
She's one of those low post players that when she gets confidence, it's tough to slow her down. And again, looking forward to Asia Davis continuing the success down low. Michaela Brandon, again, having a really nice year in the last couple of games, grabbing rebounds. I mean, you guys outscored or out-rebounded Akron by 25 on Wednesday, but Michaela Brandon fighting for rebounds, fighting for balls to stay in bounds, and she can also score. And, she's been a huge contribution so far.
Yeah, and we know exactly what we're going to get from Michaela. She's very deliberate in her approach to what we do. She's a great rebounder. You mentioned that. She's had some monster games on the glass. And she's another one that's a very cerebral player, understands what we need to have done on each side of the floor. She really kind of anchors our defense a lot of times because she can help her teammates through some screening action and then her pursuit of the basketball on the offensive end as well. So she plays within herself, which is great. She doesn't try to do more than maybe fall inside her skill set, but she's obviously been really effective in those areas where she does excel.
Erin Hodges, again, is one of those where she's going to put numbers up in every category of the box score, but even that's not going to tell you the whole story. Just fighting for rebounds. We saw it against Akron. Shot clock was winding down, able to get to the rim. She's got that floater down in the paint. She's able to get cuts, people finding her. We've seen what she's had to go through with the torn ACL last year, but what puts a smile on your face? Because I know you love talking about Erin Hodges and how she's had to come back as well. And now we're starting to see Erin play better and better each minute on the court.
For sure. And we've talked a lot, Andy, about how dynamic a player Erin is, different than anyone else on our roster. She only knows one thing, and that's to go to 100% all the time. And so she makes things happen in so many different ways because of that. Her length, her speed, her ability, like you mentioned, to get to the rim, to get to the offensive glass, to pursue the basketball out of her rebounding zone, and to really lead the break. All of those things are factors that don't always show up in the stat sheet, but at the end of the day, you will look at the stat sheet when Erin's minutes on the floor and see numbers in all of those areas.
I think what we're starting to develop too a little bit, Coach, and you talked about it early this season, is the depth. And you can go pretty deep in the bench. We've seen Jane Maribel get a lot of time. Grace Hunter started, but she's got to work around some things too, and she's been playing. Riley Blackwell. I mean, those are some of the names that we've heard of that are still in the act. It's depth that really has helped you, and it has helped against teams that just don't have it.
Yeah, and on any given night, any of those players that you mentioned have really provided a spark for us in different ways, whether it's scoring the basketball, rebounding the basketball, spelling a starter that might be in foul trouble. There's a lot of different factors that warrant minutes for that bench crew that you've talked about. And I am extremely comfortable going 8, 9, 10 deep. And we've consistently been able to do that, especially this month. And I think that has play factor, a major factor. I also think it is going to be a huge advantage as we continue through the season, because then you hope your key people, your key players are that much fresher as we get closer and closer to tournament time.
It is tight in the MAC. It is real tight. I was looking at the standings. It looks like NIU's like a game and a half with all the numbers of out of second, maybe in first, with Kent State only playing 4 games. Every game is important. Every game is going to be a challenge, but it makes for a fun end of the year here because everyone's in the act still.
Yeah, you just can't get too ahead of yourself. Looking at the next opponent, what you have to do to beat whoever it is that you're going to step on the floor against, and then being adaptable. Not knowing exactly who you're going to play or when you're going to play them, but to be ready when basically your number is called. And I think it'll probably be until early March before things are really decided come MAC tournament time. That's pretty par for the course in this league. On any given night, we say that all the time. There's nobody, regardless of what the records say, nobody that you can show up and just have your B game and hope to beat. It just doesn't happen like that.
We've also talked about the mental side of it. Again, not playing last Saturday, getting ready and playing a week later to take on what you did Akron on Wednesday. The mental side, Coach, have you had to be more of a mental coach this year more than any other season?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to keep everybody really in the moment. You can't, like I mentioned in preparation, you can't get too far ahead of yourself, but you also can't consume yourself with some of the big picture things sometimes. Controlling the controllables and making sure that you stay within yourself, within your team, and within the things that you, again, have control over. And I think this group has done a phenomenal job with that in a lot of different areas. Sometimes we forget that this group of student athletes is also dealing with the academic side of things, and that's not normal. Or the amount of time that they haven't been able to see their families, maybe that's not normal. So not just what COVID does on game day or in practice or whatever, but really how it's impacted their entire life. And this group has really done, in my opinion, a phenomenal job of really just staying positive through all of this.
Talk about the upcoming week. It starts Saturday, home game versus Miami, and then on the back at the combo, 2 home games, which is nice to be at home, taking on Bowling Green. Now I know Saturday's game versus the Red Hawks, it's got a special meaning to you and the squad.
Yeah, it really does. You're talking about our awareness this week of Hodgkin's lymphoma and what this group has decided to make through social media this week, really an awareness of that. And many people know, Paulina's story and what she dealt with as a freshman and how that really impacted all of our lives who were around during that time. I don't know that I've been involved in a more emotional, impactful situation as a coach than watching Paulina battle through that and the way she did it. Any of her teammates that were here during that time would tell you the same thing. And so I'm really proud of this group that they want to make that this week and a time to really put some facts out there in the awareness of Hodgkin's lymphoma and then how close to home that is with Paulina's journey and her story.
See a lot of purple if you're watching on the broadcast on Saturday with what's going on, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it's going to be a big part of what you see on Saturday. And 2 teams, as we wrap things up, Coach, that you've taken on already. You've gotten wins against both Miami and Bowling Green, but they're going to look for some revenge this week.
Well, I don't know that there's a team with a worse record that's playing better or is better than Miami, to be honest with you. They continue to battle every game, and last night was no different. On Wednesday, the game before coming in here, and what they were able to do at Ball State and just come up a little bit short. So, those situations are pretty standard throughout the league. I would throw records out and know that you have to battle for 40 to have a positive outcome.
The women have Miami on Saturday and Bowling Green on Wednesday. It's been a fun January so far, Coach. Let's try to finish it off Saturday with a win and keep this winning streak going. We got to get another one moving, and appreciate the time and good luck. Can't wait to see it.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
From women's basketball to NIU football, we bring in the senior center from Ellettsville, Indiana, Brayden Patton. And Brayden, glad you could join us. Appreciate the time, man. We're getting close, right? I know the season ended back in December, but spring ball's not that far away. I've got to count the days on my hand, but September 4th, Georgia Tech, is it that far away, man?
Oh man, it's a little bit of ways, but we're ready for it already. With the season just ending a couple months ago, we're ready to get back into it. Playing football, it's something that it's very special. It's obviously you get the opportunity to play football, and it's a very special opportunity that you got to take advantage of. And our team is just ready to go, ready to put the pads back on. Honestly.
How would you say going through what you guys had to do to just get a season in 2020, but to get through 6 games, how would you describe what you had to go through?
Yeah, it was very challenging. Probably the most challenging year that anyone's ever had to face, especially in the world. But yeah, football wise, it's just aware of, you having to test maybe 5 to 6 times a week. You never know next day if you're going to pop with maybe a positive or who has it, stuff like that. So just keeping your space, keeping your distance from everyone, obviously wearing your mask and trying to socially distance. It was definitely a big challenge that a lot of people, sometimes hard to face. But yeah, as a whole though, our team probably handled the best out of everyone in the country.
Yeah.
We barely, I don't think we had one guy really during the season that was positive. We didn't have a guy that missed a game because of a positive COVID case. So I feel like we really did our training staff, coaching staff, and everyone in the organization really did a really good job with it.
Brayden, now a 3-year starter here at NIU, last 2 at center, but off the field, getting your master's degree, sports management, 4.0 GPA in grad school, named the MAC Distinguished Scholar Athlete this week. That's pretty cool, Brayden, because that's not easy to do because of what you guys are doing with what you did with COVID in the football season, but continue to do your studies with the master's degree. How you been able to just kind of deal with all that and continue to get a 4.0?
Yeah, I've obviously I've been here for a while, coming back for a 6th year, but just everything that I've learned since I've been here, with school and handling your business, time management, all that kind of stuff. It's really helped me to get to where I am now and, keep that 4.0 GPA that I'm going to keep striving for. So yeah, it's just really your time management, how you deal with your time. And I've kind of figured it out through the years of being here. So yeah, it's just trying to keep that up. So
you gone through workouts now. You're back working out, started here early in this month. How is that going now? Because that's the part that fans don't understand, right? They see you getting practice in for the week of a game or playing in a game, but just how much work off season you guys do. How's it been so far?
Yeah, the off season work is definitely where you get better. You're grinding all day, every day. With the workouts and everything, the strength staff. It's awesome. It's probably the best part about the college football experience because you're just working with your brothers. Trying to get better, trying to train. It's since we came back, we've gotten into a flow of things, and keeping a same routine with lifting and running and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it may be hard to wake up on days, make up at 6 a.m. on days, but that's where, as a team, we're very, what is the word I want to say? We were very self-starting. So it's easy for one of us to maybe pick one of our teammates up, and if he's maybe not feeling like he wants to do it today, trying to encourage him, trying to encourage guys, why we're working hard, why we're doing this, why we're doing that. But yeah, getting back into workouts and everything, just being able to work out with the team, it's been really good.
All right, I know you guys are working hard. These workouts aren't easy, but then I hear that yoga's involved. Now I've done yoga and I know it helps, but how can it help an athlete like you in a sport that you play in? How can yoga help?
Yeah, so yoga's been awesome. We've only had it for a week, but we have another one coming up tomorrow. Just for a flexibility standpoint, after the first week, I was feeling great after it. Flexibility, and the instructor also, she said, meditation, it helps with your mind, clearing your thoughts while you're doing the stretches and everything. I will say I work up a little bit of a sweat, you get a little sweat going. Yeah, because some of the positions, could get a little tough, but yeah, it's just flexibility, and keeping your mind clear of things, just like you said, meditation, and just really keeping your body, up to everything feeling well. So
the offensive line, such a tight-knit group. It's got to be an interesting room for you guys because we've seen guys come through this program that have made it to the NFL. And we know you guys have been such a strong part of the offense. It starts up front, and it starts with you. How do you see your role? I mean, you're the director. You're the quarterback of the offensive line, as I like to say. You're getting everybody in order and getting in check and who's blitzing, who's going from this way. Do you like that part of it, Brayden?
Oh, yeah. I love it. Ever since I moved to center, it's been awesome. I love being kind of in control, as you said, being the quarterback of the offensive line, telling guys where to go, what to do, who the mic is, all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. I love it. I really do. If I had to pick a position to play, it would definitely be center on the offensive line because it's a fun and a special position.
It's an interesting job that you guys have. And I've always thought about this even as a young kid growing up, is like all you guys do, you want them to run the ball. You want to get in there and just push someone back, push the line back. And you do that play on play on play. And yeah, people get, oh my gosh, how dare they get to the quarterback. it takes a lot of work each play to keep those guys from getting your quarterback. That's not easy, and that's a lot of responsibility. I think the fans don't think about that you guys have to do. It's like you can't do anything on the offense if you can't hold these guys back. It's an interesting role that you have, Brayden.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like you said, if we didn't have an offensive line, the defensive ends and D tackles would be really, really quick to the quarterback. But yeah, it's a special group, man. It really is a special position. You gotta want to play that position. And it's not for everyone. It really isn't. So
you got some newcomers to the, not just the line, but to the program. How's that built in where you guys get, you lose one class, even though people were able to come back this year, but how the new faces come in, and is it just like, and you were in that role where like, oh my gosh, there's a lot going on that we have to learn, but how do you kind of help the younger guys get used to everything, especially in the off season?
Yeah. Being guys that coming in the mid-year, like you said, they can have their eyes wide open. There's a lot of things going on with them, a lot of things that they gotta do. Basically just leading them on the right track, getting the guys in, trying to show them what to do, and leading them through the workouts, maybe asking them for their schedule just to maybe keep them on track, taking them to show them around the campus so they know where everything's at, kind of that stuff. But yeah, as a new guy, it's kind of hard at first, to get used to everything, but I feel like the guys right now, they've done a really good job. We got a center that's doing a pretty good job too, that came into a freshman. But yeah, just mentoring them, showing them the ropes basically of what to do and how to do it.
The record is the record of last year, Brayden. We all know that. But to me, and you're around this team more than I have been, there's an enthusiasm, though, about what's going on for 2021. You get that fresh start. You got more of a full year to get ready. Hopefully the COVID situation can kind of decrease. But to me, it feels like you guys are enthused about coming into spring ball and what may happen in the fall.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot to improve on and show what we can do in 2021. 2020 didn't go the way we wanted it to. But our team is so like just so ready to get out there and show what we can do, because we know how close we are. We know how close we were in games, and we know what we can do. Our motto this year is going to be 1-0 each week. You know what I mean? Be 1-0, win every day that we can, win every game that we can. Just be 1-0 each week. So yeah, there's a very big excitement around our team right now, and we're just ready to get back to work, honestly, and put the pads on and get better.
Two things to wrap this up for you, Brayden. Appreciate the time. One is you've never been out of the United States. I know you want to travel. You've never been out of the States, huh?
Yeah, never been out of the States. We've, as a kid, we would always talk about maybe going to Europe or something, but with my dad, my dad's a football coach also. He's been a football coach for 20 plus years. So yeah, we really just never had the time to go out of the States, and so it would be something that it would be really fun to see. So
yeah, it's interesting. Your dad coaching in the conference that you play in, very interesting. I know he's changing programs this year. One other note, Toby Keith helped your baseball team. Give me that quick story how Toby Keith helped your baseball squad.
Yeah, so this was probably in second and third grade. My dad was coaching in Oklahoma at Oklahoma University, and Toby Keith's son, I went to school with him, grew up, went to middle school and elementary school with him. And one year he just decided to, maybe help us out a little bit, be an assistant coach. So he just came on the team, and then his son was on the team also. So yeah, for 2 to 3 years, he helped out with the team, and we would go to sometimes his house for practices and everything. And it was awesome. It was really cool to meet Toby Keith for sure.
Yeah, that's a good story, man. Well, hey, 4.0, getting the master's degree in sport management. Appreciate the time. Good luck in the classroom. I hope spring ball goes well, and really looking forward to what happens in 2021 for this football team.
Thanks, Andy. That's awesome. Can't wait, man.
From NIU football to NIU gymnastics, we're joined by head coach Sam Morreale, now in his 10th year. And you know what? Still the champs. All right. We're going to call you the champs until somebody knocks you off. Coach, I appreciate the time and glad you could come on.
I'm glad you're having me, Andy. You know I love you. And yeah, call us the tournament champs. Like, let's not offend anybody. I don't want to give anybody any kind of, blackboard, chalkboard talk. But yeah, no, we are the champs. So.
You guys started last week, double weekend at the Tennessee Classic and at Western Michigan. What have you seen from your team so far?
Little rough start at the beginning in Tennessee, but we were kind of expecting that. Just first meet of the year. It was a long, like everybody's saying, long preseason, long off season, different in a lot of ways. So a little bit uncharacteristic in what we had been seeing in practice to what they did at that meet. But super proud of the bounce back, getting into the conference on Sunday at Western. We did a really good job of building off our positives from Friday, but then also, correcting some of the mistakes. And we looked a lot more like we look every day. I was super concerned. I'm not afraid of double weekends, but starting the season with a double weekend, just the wear and tear, we did a really good job of coming through it and then performing really well on Sunday.
Coach, how much have you had to change the schedule of what you had to come in with all the COVID situations? How much have you had to change with just the overall schedule?
Truth be told, the change came in kind of stretching things out a little bit more than normal. Where we would have been ready competition-wise, say October, Halloween time, that was Halloween kind of became where we were normally in the beginning of September. So it was a definite, so everything kind of got stretched out a little bit more than anything else. We missed our little Red Back Black Classic in November, which is our kind of dress rehearsal. But again, I don't know that we were ready to get out there. So it truly from that standpoint. And then it's as a coach, just understanding that and realizing that on a daily basis where, we rolled into Christmas break and it's like, we should be ready for this, but
right.
It's just understanding that, I got very talented athletes and they work super hard. And there's a group of them that were ready just because that's the type of animals they are. But it's just from an overall prep team standpoint. We had some changes to the beginning of our schedule where we were supposed to start that first week of January, kind of got bumped back a couple weeks. In hindsight, that was probably the best thing that could have happened for us. Now it definitely gave us a double weekend start to the season. Yeah. But hey, like I told him after Friday's meet, you can only get better at competing by competing. So being able to do that right away was a good thing. So
as we look at the overall roster, we've got some names that we've seen on the roster for a couple of years now that I know you're counting on.
Yeah, no, we are definitely a upperclassman driven roster. And again, that happens more often than not in our sport. Not that we don't rely on freshmen coming in and making a splash. But I think what's really kind of, it's your normal names, Mia Lord, Zoe Schroeder, Catherine Biddle, Gabby Welch, our seniors, and then you got our juniors, Tara Kaufmel, Morgan Hooper. I think the difference at the top end is some of those peripheral kids from years back where they were exhibition kids or they were practice kids, their kids we're going to count on this year. Kelsey Martz, Liana Roman, so those are just differences that I think, we're going to see a little more of. And then again, the young kids, Natalie Hamp, she's a rock star on bars. She's a kid who, if she does what we see all the time, I tease people, I'll throw a name from the past, Anna Martucci. She's an Anna Martucci on bar. Like she's that good, gets kid, kind of stops you as you watch her. And then from a freshman standpoint, Kendall George is really going to come in. She's a super talented kid. She's competing 3 events for us right now, and she's knocking on the door on that 4th event. So, I feel really good about the way the roster is built where, we're going to rely on those upperclassmen who have had experience and kind of understand the ropes to kind of bring those freshmen and underclassmen along. And that's kind of how you want it. But again, we want our freshmen to come in and push the kids on top of them. And as long as they're doing that and can't make lineup, we're just going to be that much better.
What would you say are your biggest strengths on this squad right now?
I would say our strength is balance beam. And I've kind of said that for a bunch of years, but truth be told, Nita Teague, my associate head beam coach, she's a rock star. Like, she does a really good job of preparing these kids. And then honestly, we just have a really good roster of beam kids. I tease her all the time because she kind of leads the recruiting and gets the names and kind of funnels a group down to me. So, and I say that in all jokingness, like, if that's even a word. She does a really good job with these kids, and I can't, prop her up enough. But kids like Mia Lord, Zoe, Catherine Biddle, Morgan, our whole beam squad that's out there can go 9-8 or better. I truly feel like that could be a group that, they can be a nationally ranked event for us. And again, you've watched some gymnastics, beam is the separator. So to have that as our kind of anchor, I feel like it's a great thing for us.
I mean, I'll always look back, and again, 2019 was not that long ago. The MAC championship there, the tournament champions, and the floor, and what you guys, it just seemed to be. I mean, and I don't know a better word. Sometimes you guys are just special though with your floor exercise. That's all I can say.
And again, floor is going to improve throughout the year. Floor is one of those events that COVID, I feel like in the time and the training has affected the most from an endurance standpoint, a readiness standpoint. And I'll be honest with you, Andy, we're going to be patient and we're going to have some growing pains going through it, but we're in it for the long term. Like, we want to go after our championship again at the conference tournament, but then we want a team that can get the regionals. And so we're going to build our floor squad, and no, you'll be able to see some of that again. But truly our floor squad right now is probably our third best event.
That's saying something though.
No. And again, it's a fun event to watch. It's an easy event to kind of understand, where you see flipping and landing. Some of the other ones are a little trickier, but we're going to be a beam bar squad with floor vault kind of pulling up after, but it's not like there's a lot of separation between them.
I know you're excited about Sunday and hosting a meet, taking on Bowling Green, to be back here. Of course, we wish the fans could be here, but at least you're here at home and taking on Bowling Green, especially after what happened last weekend and the team win at Western Michigan. It seemed like you guys are feeling good and back home here on Sunday taking on BG.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great competing at home. The Combo is a great venue. We're going to miss the fans, but we got that a little bit at Western. And it's also something we've been talking about, like, it is what it is. So social media wise, I know our AFCON group is going to stream the meet. So we have Husky Vision, different things like that. So there's going to be opportunities for people still to watch us. And then, again, we're trying not to worry about that stuff. Like, for us, it's just, let's worry about the product. Let's do the best we can. And again, we're not afraid to be on the road. This team competes, we've kind of, I don't want to jinx us, but figured it out a little bit as far as how to best compete on the road to make it feel like home. So I feel really good about that. But I mean, you can't beat sleeping in your own bed. You can't beat prepping the normal way you prep at home. You don't always get that on the road, especially in COVID times. It's just a little bit different for that kind of stuff. So no, it's we are excited about getting back home and doing some stuff.
I know you're excited about getting back home, but I'll leave you with a generic question. Just how excited are you with this season, being here finally and going through what we should see in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about those end goals, MAC championship, regional berth, but Andy, I'm not going to lie. We are truly taking this one day at a time. I use the word relish, and my kids are like, what does that even mean? So I'm going to buy a bunch of little packets I can throw at them. But, we're just trying to truly enjoy each opportunity because, again, the department's done a great job, from Sean all the way down. John's been a godsend to us, John Chaney. But you can't control it. I told the kids, we got on the bus and went to Tennessee. We could have got a call saying, roll back, you guys are done. So it is truly just trying to enjoy each opportunity and each place we get out there. But again, big picture, this is a special squad. I keep prepping up my alumni. Like, we're not who we are today without the blood, sweat, and tears they put in the program leading up till now. And that goes all the way from the type of recruits we're able to attract. And that's not all us and a coaching staff and a facility. And that's the team atmosphere and what that group before has built. So I am truly excited. This is probably one of our, again, I say it every year, but it's one of our most talented teams. It's just a matter of getting out there and kind of doing what we do each day. And again, having some fun with it. So, and if I could throw something at you, 7, 8, 15, 35.
Listen, I was going to say, I'm one of the funniest guys in the world. We know that, but there's only one guy funnier than me, and that's you. All right.
Yeah, but as my mom would tell me, looks aren't everything, my friend. But
I appreciate the time. And again, I can't believe it's your 10th year. And again, we still have our shoulders high a little bit with that championship.
Oh, yeah.
Back. And again, until somebody knocks you guys off, you're the champs. Continued success. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate your support. And thanks for having me on. And go Huskies.
Always have fun talking to Sam Morreale, Huskies head gymnastics coach. As we look forward to this week, a reminder, we've extended the Husky Howl fan cutout program, the volleyball and gymnastics, and you can still order your fan cutout for the NIU basketball season. The cost is just $60 per sport, and your fan cutout will be in the stands for every match, meet, or game, even though you can't be there. Plus, every purchase benefits NIU student athletes, and you get to take the cutout home after the season. Go to NIUHuskies.com for all the details and put your cutout in the stands today. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. A lot happening, and don't forget to download the NIU Huskies app from the Apple or Google Play Store. It'll keep you updated. It's completely free to download. Get the NIU Huskies app. Saturday, women's basketball home to Miami on ESPN Plus, 1 p.m. Men's tennis taking on North Dakota in Youngstown State. And coming up on Sunday, we mentioned gymnastics, Bowling Green, 2 p.m. at the Combo. Men's tennis back in action on Monday, February 1st, as they take on North Dakota here in DeKalb, 10 a.m. And then women's basketball back in the Combo on Wednesday, taking on Bowling Green, 6 p.m. Volleyball is on the road next week at Central Michigan. Wrestling home in DeKalb on Friday, February 5th. They'll take on Northern Iowa at 1 p.m. Women's tennis is also home next Friday, taking on Illinois State and St. Francis. So a lot of teams in action. It's fun right now because of what has happened, that you've got volleyball, basketball, tennis, gymnastics, wrestling. Everyone's going at it. So we're going to hear a lot of what's going on in the schedule. And again, the app will keep you updated as well. Don't forget, NIU Basketball Weekly premieres every Saturday right here on NIU Athletics, the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Don't miss press conferences, game highlights, and more. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Special thanks to Huskies head women's basketball coach Lisa Carlsen, Brayden Patton, NIU senior center on the football team, for joining us, and Sam Morreale, NIU's head gymnastics coach, for coming on the third episode of NIU Basketball Weekly. Don't forget, get out, get the cutouts, stay tuned on the app, and hopefully all these programs can get us some wins this week. We'll talk to you next week. Until then, go Huskies.